All right. Mono, black, mud, artifact, black control, whatever you want to call it. This is a mostly artifact ramp deck that has a small black splash for some sweepers and interaction. So we've got Extinction Event and Shadow's Verdict here as ways to clean up the board game one for cheap. We've got for Daddy Ugin at the top end of our curve, as well as Baby Ugin and Ulamog as well. And the way we get to these expensive cards is with effects like Mind Stone, Guardian Idol, Hedron Archive, and then notably Forsaken Monument is like our big over-the-top ramp card. So Forsaken Monument here says, whenever you tap a permanent for colorless mana, get an additional colorless, and whenever you cast a colorless spell, gain 2 life. So this is why, when you look at our mana base, a majority of our lands, everything except these 2 swamps, tap for explicitly a colorless, because this doubles the mana from our lands that make colorless mana as well. One thing I actually want to try is that I think I want to try slightly more 2-mana ramp spells in this build today. This doesn't make colorless, but you basically always want every opening hand in this deck to have one of your 2-mana ramp spells in it, and I think going from 8 to 10 is probably worthwhile. Adding slightly more black sources to casting like Verdict consistently is also reasonable, I think. Black out of the sideboard also gives us things like Thoughtseize and Duress in the combo and control matchups, which is great. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this and see if this feels reasonable again today. How many black sources are there? I believe our mana base is only on 14 black sources to start, so Coldsteel Heart gets us up to 16. And again, you basically don't want to keep anything, unless your opponent is showing a Yorion, don't keep 7s with this deck that don't ramp. Is the TLDR. I purchased a PS5, didn't I? Yeah, pretty much all the variety games I've been doing on stream have been on the PS5. It's hanging out here on my desk. Got my lovely little PS5 right here. Apologies for the Jeffception. Boneless! Thank you for the 36 months. Welcome back. As someone who has never had a current generation console before other than the Nintendo Switch, yeah, I like the PlayStation a lot. I also greatly prefer playing video games with a controller over a keyboard and mouse, though. It works as advertised. Your brother-in-law bought one for retail and made $200 selling it. Your brother-in-law is part of the problem. Yeah, I got real lucky, Christy. I didn't realize that getting the new consoles was going to be difficult, and I just like made an offhand comment to Christy. I think I'd like to stream some PlayStation games, so can you order those when they go up for sale? And she just like got one from Target on pre-order on release. So I had mine shipped to me right after release. I mean, she didn't do anything fancy either. She just like went on Target's website and got in the queue and was able to get one day up, or the very first pre-order day. Ghostly Pilferer. It's an interesting discard outlet. That being said, Forsaken Monument here means I get to Ulamog next turn, which is great. I saw on Reddit that Amazon had pre-orders up and 30 seconds later had mine locked. And I did now, in the not completely lucky category, I did have to pay the slight premium to get a PlayStation 5 with a CD in it that I'm never going to use the disc drive on. So, like, technically I paid extra money for a feature I didn't really want because it was the only unit available. But seeing after the fact how difficult they've been to get in general, don't regret that. Oh, I think the opponent's playing a combo deck. Yeah, pretty sure they're a combo deck. Wait, so if I play this for 6, this costs 6, so I can't quite. Who uses Blu-ray? There are no DVDs or Blu-ray in my house yet. Come on now. Opponent was playing a combo deck, now they are dead. Accurate. I'm gonna double Stone Rain them next turn. Christy, so we have 2 switches, so for the sake of convenience of moving cartridges back and forth, we have a bunch of cartridges for our Switch games. And it's real annoying. I greatly prefer having digital. Alright, so I could do this, and then also Extinction Event here.
Curiosity and wonder drive civilization, not petty wars.
Yeah, my desktop computer doesn't even have a disk drive in it. Did not put one in it when we built it. Alright, so I think I want my spot removal here, because, so what their deck is looking to do, they set up Glinthorn Buccaneer with Curiosity on it, plus a discard outlet, and then kill us with it. I think it's probably just like 2 Verdict out, 2 Heartless Act in. I don't think I want the discard spells here, the rest of this seems fine. That sucks, Thantos. You need more fiber in your diet. That's the number. Like, not only is the speed and consistency a nice upgrade getting fiber internet over cable internet, but the fact that fiber internet gives you a dedicated connection, so your connection doesn't slow down when people in your area are also hammering the internet, is a quality upgrade. You did submit this one, Kelvin. Yeah, it looks interesting. Yeah, it's probably quick enough. And then to take a moment on one of capitalism's many failings. Oddly enough, as soon as a fiber company moved to town, Comcast suddenly started offering faster speeds at lower prices. because they could have offered faster speeds at lower prices the entire time. It just wasn't worthwhile to do until there was a competitor in the area. The fact that it's 2021 and the internet isn't regulated like a utility like food, water, electricity, and phone is very stupid. When I had cable internet before fiber was an option, I paid more money per month for Comcast to uncap my bandwidth than I pay now for my entire fiber connection. I used to have to pay $60 a month for Comcast to let me have unlimited bandwidth on the internet I was already paying for. You pay $100 a month for DSL because it's the only option. you poor, yeah. You pay $44 a month for 500 up down. Man, that's even cheaper than mine. That's a sick rate. I think we pay 65 or 70 for 500 down, 500 up. If I recall correctly. You pay $80 a month for 200 down, 10 up, and it goes up $15 a month every year. Gross. Yeah, that's one of the other upgrades of fiber is your upload speed matches your download speed, generally speaking. Which isn't relevant for a ton of people, but for jobs like mine, it's useful to never have to worry about upload bandwidth. Well, if you're in an area that has multiple fiber providers, you're probably atypical, Jin. Usually you just sign up for whichever fiber provider's in your area. Mine is a smaller ISP called Metronet, but like, again, I don't have another option. If like, I've been happy with them, but I'm also glad I've been happy with them because there's literally not another option if I wanted fiber in Bloomington. Was the install cost pretty high? No, it's literally free. Gotta play around a second spell pierce here. I figured they had to wire fiber to your house. I mean, they did, but like they ran backbone fiber lines in my area. So like it's not like they were running a giant dedicated line to my house, right? So like they had generic lays in the area, and then they basically just run it from like their backbone in the area straight to my house. Gross, Chewy. Yeah, so Bloomington, where I live, has a public university, a private university. We're dead, right? This is the combo? No, they need Curiosity on the Glinthorn, right, to kill us? This has to have the when it deals damage, draw a card. Yeah, so Bloomington, where I live, has a private university, a public university, and it has large corporate offices for both State Farm and Country Insurance. So we have a lot of stuff here for the fact that it's a smaller town. We have like 6 colleges. Yeah, the other ones are like smaller community colleges though, right? Like Lincoln and Heartland. I don't really They're not really comparable to Wesleyan and ISU. You've only heard awful things about fiber. Who have you heard awful things about fiber from? Fiber's great. Literally the best internet option you could have.
I am ancient and wise.
I say probably Comcast commercials. So I elected to play this as opposed to this because, again, we got Spell Pierced earlier, and I prefer to play around a second copy of Spell Pierce, and this still kills one of their combo pieces. I would confirm that your friends that weren't happy, one, understood what they were doing, and two, actually had fiber, and it wasn't some, like, AT&T offering that wasn't actually fiber. Signed a year contract with Comcast for $120 a month for 1,000/40. Turns out there's fiber provider here for $965 for half the price. Yeah. Yeah.
I will seek other allies.
Oh, by the way, can someone check? Does Cardboard Live have HA4 cards now? Cardboard Live had an update today. Do we have Coldsteel Hearts in my deck? Seriously? Cardboard Live updated today and there's still no HA4 cards in it? What a bad joke. I really need to reach out to them. That's like, I need to find out like if they're having bandwidth issues, if they need someone that can help maintain their project, because like, it's bad at this point. Like a little bit of a delay I'd understand, but like this has been a long time at this point. The fact that it updated today and still didn't add HA4 cards is really something. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about too, right? Like if we get a whole new set and don't get cards, like that's gonna be real bad if we don't get an update then. Hey, RQR Master X, thank you for the 62 months. That's over 5 years is a real long time. Real long time. They're technically a company, but I'm pretty sure they're like Twitter or Discord in that they don't actually have a business model that's profitable. Eeks, thanks for the 25 months. Welcome back. The Mystical Archive review is great and a lot of fun watching on YouTube. Thanks for the feedback. Yeah, the Mystical, for people that are asking me like, what is my Strixhaven spoiler review gonna look like? It'll be very comparable to what I did for the Mystical Archives. It'll probably be a little bit longer because there'll be more cards in the full set, but something along the lines of that for sure. Or I just kind of like go through just the highlights and not every single card. That business model is called venture capital funding. Yep. So I can activate Golos and still cast Ugin this turn. The archive cards on Arena will be in normal booster packs, chat. Open lots of Strixhaven. I'm going to be opening 200 or 300 packs of Strixhaven on the 15th. I've seen multiple people overvaluing Stone Raid and ready to play 30 lands. Yep. We know how archive cards will work with duplicate protection. We do not. I don't think so. So 95% of other people playing this archetype that I'm playing are playing 4-mana Karn in their main deck. And I think 4-mana Karn's bad in the format in general, but it's really good in the mirror. I'm not really interested in playing the mirror where they have 4 copies of a card that hose my entire deck. So, and I don't have that copies of that card that hose theirs, so I'm going to skip over it. I think our archetype is good enough against the food decks without that card that you really don't need to be playing it. Yeah, Grid Creator's one that turns off artifacts. How many Stone Rain decks am I going to accept? At least one. We've got one in the queue. Honestly, I don't turn down that many deck submissions these days at the higher price tag, because there aren't nearly as many. Although, right now, the Mystical Archive's been the biggest influx of deck submissions since I raised the price. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then another one got head taste. We've got 7 deck submissions with the new Mystical Archive cards waiting to be played already. Think I'm planning to do 8 to 10 decks between Thursday and Friday when the set releases. So the set releases on the 15th. So we'll do 4 to 5 decks on that Thursday and 4 to 5 decks on that Friday. And then the open will be that Saturday. So it'll be a very busy weekend in Hoaglandia when the new set drops. That's true, Justin. You are one of the few that I've turned down. Man. Seven decks equal Tree Fitty Loch Ness Monster confirmed. Does that mean the cards that aren't legal in Historic currently, but are in the archive, will be added and made legal? Yeah, basically, Optimus. There's a bunch of new cards coming with Strixhaven that will be adding new and interesting things to Historic. And if you want my thoughts on those archives and where I think they'll be good in Historic, you can check out my review video here. Tommy Smurf. Aye, comrade. Seize the means of production, Mr., Mrs., or non-binary Smurf. Oh, Twitch usernames. I take a crack at Red Black Pyromancer with IOK and looting? Yeah, definitely, Lambton. 100%. Alright, chat. My hand makes a little bit of mana this turn. Crazy Duck! Thank you for the tier 2 and thank you for the 27 months. Welcome back.
In this land, we are all connected. The land shall conquer you.
So I'm pretty sure I want to scry at upkeep because I don't have enough mana to both Ulamog and draw a card with Mazemind Tome. So I want to give myself the ability to scry into an Ulamog. Sure. This at least lets me cast Extinction Event this turn. The meta has fully stagnated in Runeterra. 80% of the EU's Master Ladder top 20 is the same deck. Yikes. Yikes! Yeah, I mean, like I said, the reason why I took a Runeterra break is I just wasn't having fun with it, so... Hopefully they get some good news tomorrow. Ultimatum, me daddy. That's not an ultimatum. Are the archive cards going to be in standard? They will not be. If they were going to be standard legal, you just wouldn't need a special exception for historic, because all standard legal cards come to historic. What are the opponent's sleeves?
This looks like a fun new toy.
Let's get some red black pyro. It's my drug. I'd be happy to get that added Limpton. Thanks for the support. Fish lamp clock. I thought I said it. I apologize. Thank you for the 29. Good morning. Good morning. All right, well, we're just exiling even things again, right? I think I Golos to encourage them to downtick the Liliana.
I do love a good death wail.
How do you all at home feel about a good death wheel, chat? Business ass! Thanks for the 2/3 of a year. Welcome back. Chat, I'm feeling hungry. If I cast this, I can still do this, right? Yeah, okay. So, let's do this. Let's do this.
I can help you no longer.
card. G. Thanks for the follow, Medic. If you haven't seen this sweet, mostly artifact black control deck that we're playing before, it means you haven't checked out my YouTube channel. You should make sure to do that. We usually post 2 to 3 different sweet, historic, or other constructed decks every single day of the week. A lot of great, fantastic hits up there like this one. Alright, so I know that these effects were okay in that game, but in general, these effects tend to not be great in this matchup if they don't have exactly Nissa. So I'd much rather have a bunch of discard spells here. We board in some extra daddy Ulamogs at the top end of the curve. Is this a matchup where I need Coldsteel Heart to ramp out? Probably not. Leave a couple of Ugins in. Yeah, I dropped Thought Distortion. I think Duress is just the better tool. And honestly, so Inquisition of Kozilek is coming with the upcoming archives, and this is actually a deck that doesn't want Inquisition. So this deck is playing discard spells explicitly for control and spell-based combo. So our deck would much rather have Duress to take things like Nissa, Ultimatum, etc., as opposed to things that hit smaller things and creatures. So Inquisition isn't going to replace Duress everywhere, but it will likely be replacing it in a lot of mid-range shells. So, on the off chance they left Fatal Push in against us, I am not going to attack with this. The random 2 points of damage is not worth the potential blowout. Hey, Jonathan, thanks for the follow. Good morning. Alright, so just waiting for a bomb diggity here, chat. Ulamog would be lovely. This Twitch stream is pre-recorded in front of a live audience for those of you that are new here. GG! Do 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 do. Boo doo doo doo. Do 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 do. We're about to have a monumental time. Yeah, I think this deck that we're playing super reasonable. It's got pretty decent matchups. I feel like this deck has like a shot basically everywhere. Like I don't think you're hugely advantaged against anything, but I also don't think like you're 0% to win anywhere. Is Emrakul playable in any format? 13 mana Emrakul sees Fringe play in Pioneer. Yeah, this hand's lovely. Opponent's playing Yorion, so there's a good chance this Extinction Event's only okay. But the rest of it's still pretty reasonable. Has a couple of lands, has Mind Stone. Definitely not a mulligan. Esper. Got some Doom Foretold over there. Maybe some Demonic packs. So, F2K rolled out a new sponsor called Public, but I've not been fully briefed on the details of it yet. So we'll have a plug for them at some point once they had some delays getting me set up with whatever they're supposed to get me set up with for that. And their banner in the current rotator is currently very sad, so apparently they had some other asset issues as well. Alright, I'm pretty sure we board out this extra ramp against anything controlling. I think we're boarding like exactly like we boarded against... Maybe I don't want all the monuments in a matchup like that. Maybe I want more threats. Ugin's probably pretty good against the Doom Foretold deck. Maybe I like Trim and Idol in a monument. I think I like that. Kenobi, thank you for the 21 months. Welcome back. Yeah, I have, so the two ad scrollers on the left side of the screen, the bottom one with BCW and Coalescence Apparel and Cool Stuff Inc., that's the one that I manage personally, and then the F2K ticker is one that I have some negotiations over what goes in there, but like the details of the campaigns aren't always something I handle. But like, I personally would have never gone live with a campaign with the current ticker for like what Public has in there now, but they decided to go ahead with it, which is awkward. Yes, Public, they are a Robinhood-esque stock trading app. I'm aware of what they are, I just don't have the full shtick put together and assets for it just yet. Or some lag on getting all the details together on that. I'll have like an affiliate link and stuff to sign up for people to sign up through it for, but that hasn't all been put together as of yet. I think they're supposed to add the assets to me today. Alright, well, I'll Thoughtseize your Thoughtseize. Leave you with cards you can't cast. Nord is not an F2K partner at the moment. Well, you know. Yeah, like the awkward black text doesn't look great either. It like disappears on a lot of different screen backgrounds. Maybe I was right to play the Hedron Archive to bait the veto. Them drawing running blue source after keeping a hand with none is pretty good. 80 card magic at its finest. If they have a Doom Foretold here, we're probably going to get ground out. Gonna eat my Mind Stones, I'm going to be very sad. I figured we'd wait and see if we get their Doom Foretold to eat itself, but I'm just gonna make us discard and them draw. There's no way we're getting out from underneath that amount of card advantage. This hand is more than good. It's great. Is Tony the Tiger still a thing, chat? Someone hurt me. Do Zoomers know what Tony the Tiger is? Dario, thank you for the very generous tip. I appreciate that. I was watching Monty Python The Holy Grail, and the dude said, "What is your quest?" And I was like, "I seek the face, now I get it." That is in fact a Monty Python reference that I make. Thank you for the support. That's very generous of you. Alright, well, I mean, if we spike the untapped land next turn, we get to Ugin, right? Yeah. I'm in danger. I think our hand would have been good enough on the play, even with us missing the land drop, but on the draw here, looking like we're going to be too slow. So, Heartless Act and Shadow's Verdict in. Get to trim a couple of Ulamog. Probably just an Ugin. The archives in draft boosters replace the land. So again, like, I've seen a lot of people complaining about the archives upshifting older cards' rarities, but like, I feel like the people complaining don't realize that like you have the chance to get 2 rares or a rare and a mythic and boost your packs now, because the archive slot's replacing a land. It's like, I don't know. I think there's a lot of things to complain about regarding Magic and its economy, but the way the archives are being distributed doesn't feel like one of them to me. They're in arena specific boosters as well. Yeah, and the arena booster, they're replacing a common, and draft packs are replacing a land, is my understanding. So, like, rarity of things get upshifted and downshifted all the time. It literally happens all of the time, chat. So in general, I don't think the shifting's a big deal. Arena's expensive in general, and this change doesn't really change that. This isn't really a new development. Alright, well, if I don't die to their collected company here, we have a shot. There's a good chance we're dead to Coco, though. I don't know. I know for me personally, as someone that throws a pile of money in every Magic set, Mystical Archives doesn't really change the way in which I interact with Magic. Like, I'm gonna open the same 200 to 300 booster packs with Mystical Archives as I would open with any other set. As far as the arena economy goes. Yes, a number of those cards were printed before Mythic existed as well. Is another good observation. Yeah, they're craftable as normal cards as well. Best! Thanks for the 14 months, I appreciate that. Welcome back. Subscribed earlier for the first time and gonna keep subscribing until you get my name right. Thanks for the content. Golly. Well, I'm just gonna have to keep saying it wrong on purpose now.
I have just the trick for this.
So remember, yeah, there's a passive here. I can still draw cards on their turn, though. I can activate this Mazemind Tome now and draw a card at least. I was so lucky, chat. I had to craft a Paradox engine for the first deck we played today. So I bought 20 Amonkhet Remaster booster packs. And not only did I open 2 Mythic Rare wild cards in 20 packs, but I also opened the Paradox engine that I needed. My body is fully prepped and ready for the next set release. And then we got 2 Mythic ICRs today too. We are running hot here in Hooglandia, chat. We got 2 ICRs that weren't 40 gems. They were actual Mythics I was missing. ICR stands for Individual Card Reward, and ICRs are not 4th card protected in Arena because screw you. Are bad Mythics worse than 40 gems? Not really. I need all of the bad Mythics, chat. Chat, do you not see the things people send me money to play and the things we try here? I need the bad Mythics, okay? They're not optional for me. For normal people, 40 gems is probably worth more than a bad Mythic. Round these parts, that's not the case. Did you not hear me just talking about having to craft a 4th Paradox engine, chat? Don't talk to me about crappy Mythics and what's good or bad. You don't know my life. What are spells? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, we activated this in this set today. Alduin's Epiphany resolves. I guess I could be doing this here to kill my Guardian Idol. Why play Cataracts over World Tree? Because, one, if I had World Tree, I probably still wouldn't have been able to activate Golos because my opponent would have just used the removal spell sooner. Two, I explicitly play this one because it taps for colorless, which is better with our Forsaken Monuments. So, like, assuming that if we have the other one, we get to activate it, it is wrong, because if we have the other one, my opponent's play patterns likely look different there. Cataract does also work with Mana Rocks, while World Tree does not, is accurate.
Return to the essence of the multiverse.
I think we're in a position to beat Ultimatum here. They haven't cast any extra turns or Vorn clicks or anything like that yet. I think we throw Vorn clicks back and give them these other two. The problem is this is going to let them clear Ugin still because of the birds. Yeah, not losing it to Field of Ruin is very relevant against blue-white control. Yeah, I see we're dead here. Save ourselves some clicks. Again, pretty straightforward board plan. Discard spells and 6 mana Ugin in, Ulamog's in, Coldsteel Heart, Sweepers, 2 8 mana Ugins out. Nah, I like the split of bombs I have at the top end. Golos is only okay. The types of matchups where Golos' activation are good are frequently the matchups where they can kill him. And while, yeah, it lives sometimes, it wins you the game because it lived, like, those are more the exception than the rule. Golos is mostly just a 5 mana piece of ramp. Take the card that kills you, chat. Yeah, so the big thing that Ultimatum gained that put it... If you look at the cards that Ultimatum is searching up Gremildin, they're all cards from more recent sets. So the reason why Ultimatum took a little bit was because it needed other cards printed to make it better. Actually, I completely disagree. Completely disagree. 6 mana Ugin is great. 6 mana Ugin is a ramp spell that generates card advantage and is also a piece of spot removal in a pinch. I think it's much better than Golos because 6 mana Ugin can generate you card advantage. Even when it just dies right away, it still draws you at least one card, which is a big deal. Lets you generate some really silly turns by making all your other colorless spells cost 2 less as well. Yeah, Binding's a big addition to the Ultimatum deck as well. Being a piece of interaction that also ramps you to your 7 mana payoffs is very good. For sure, decks are sums of their parts, they're not just single cards. Now, unfortunately, if they have Binding here, because they drew Yorion, we're going to get Time Walked. I guess I could play Ugin and downtick on Binding if they play Binding. Well, not anymore. Okay. Maybe they don't have Binding here? B Cougs, thank you for the 15 months and welcome back. I thought I'd quit Magic with Runeterra, but I'm hoping they balance things. But I can't help but get hooked on Magic again with all their good stuff in Historic. Yeah, Historic's gonna bring a lot of old-time Magic players into. I think this latest set of archives is honestly going to bring a bunch of people who had never touched Arena before into Arena. Lot of old hats who are like, okay, I'm a Brainstorm player. They're gonna have a real good time casting that card on a real platform. Big facts. My friends are excited to download Arena now. Yeah, I don't think you're the exception either. What are we playing after this deck? This is gonna be my last Magic deck of the day. So for the next couple of weeks, I am planning to only do 2 Magic decks each morning. I'm gonna be streaming a little bit less than I have been, because I'm gonna take it easy as we head into the set release. This is kind of like a low point in Magic's release cycle. So it makes sense to go a little bit more time off. I'll play some more variety games. We're gonna do a little bit longer sessions with like Nier Automata and the other games that I have. You know, I'm interested in playing past that, but not going to zero Magic, but a little bit less than the crazy we've been doing. So one of the things I think is really interesting, weird, bad, hypocritical, is that when I hear people talk about getting into Arena versus getting into Paper or Moto, it's weird to me how when people talk about, oh, Arena's expensive to get into, they talk about it from the perspective of, I have to own everything. In order to get into Arena, I have to own a bunch of stuff. Whereas, like, compared to Paper Magic and Moto, they're like, oh, what's the cost of one deck to get into it? And, like, getting one deck in Arena isn't terrible. Yeah, it's more expensive than, like, Runeterra, but, like, Runeterra is very cheap by design. And, like, with Historic, you know, non-rotating formats, especially with, you know, these new cards coming in that will probably be the biggest power level upgrade this format's going to get. You know, once you find a deck that you like and is reasonable in this format, you can just sit on that deck and grind with it for forever. Yeah, I'm definitely in for Ephemerate. I'm not playing it. God, it's so weird that we hit 2 Mirror Matches with this deck today. I'm just not playing a Mirror. Yeah, I'm in for an Ephemerate plus Thragtusk Lipton for sure. The new PV spoiler card will probably be sweet in that too with Ephemerate. Yeah, I think that's probably a good comparison to Dark Rider. People play less in Paper, so it's harder to get bored with just one thing. They can fix it by just selling wild cards. Chat, they already sell wild cards. I love it when people bring up they should just sell wild cards, because you're telling on yourself from your ignorance in a way. What you actually mean is you wish they would sell wild cards for cheaper. Which is a fine position to have, but you could buy wild cards in Arena. They're just also expensive. And you could argue that that's maybe pedantic, but like, it's definitely the truth. Thank you for your very generous support, Lampton. Got a bunch of sweet decks in the queue around the new cards. Arena's never going to be cheaper, chat. Magic just had its most profitable year in its 26-year history. And a big part of why that was the case is because Arena's economy is structured to make them gobbles of money. There's no way they're changing that while that's the case. Zero, thank you for the very generous tier 2 and for the 26 months. Welcome back. Magic feels like a loot box predatory system. Yeah, Magic's the original loot boxes, chat. Magic basically invented having loot boxes be part of your game. Magic booster packs are the OG loot boxes in a game system. Alright, Storm is 3, your turn. Thanks for the follow, Brondo. Hey, guy, thanks for the brand new Prime support. I know there's a ton of people you can send that to every single month. Thanks for sending it this way this month. Zoomers, yeah, actually that's true. Magic is actually less predatory and gambling than Richard Garfield originally designed it to be, because Richard Garfield originally intended Ante to be a core part of the Magic the Gathering experience. We've died, turns out. I'm gonna let the opponent go through their combo for people that haven't seen this before, but this is Neoform combo. Yeah, I guess we should make them wait and show us that they have Combat Celebrant. If they don't have Combat Celebrant, they might not be able to kill us from 26. Mr. Mark the Shark, thank you for the 21 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Not all of these lists play Combat Celebrant, and their Combat Celebrant could be in their hand. There is, so this one lets them exert to attack twice here. So they put all of this into play and then they get to attack twice with most of them. All right, so Heartless Act, Duress and Thoughtseize are all great here. Grafdigger's Cage is great here. Ulamog is slow. It's probably just an Ugin Golos win condition matchup. Don't really have time to grind with an effect like this, I don't think. Thanks for the 21 months, Mark. It has been a rough year. I'm looking forward to the new set, too. Archives look sweet. Honestly, a lot of the non-archive cards look sweet, too. Looking forward to doing a full set review on actual Strixhaven stuff once we get the full spoiler for that in a couple of weeks. I'll do a similar video like I did for the historic archives, where I'm gonna wait for the whole set to drop and then we'll do a stream that's like 2 or 3 hours where I go through just the cards I think are constructed playable. We should have the whole set by Friday. Is that accurate? No, we should have the whole set by the 9th. The 9th should be it. Usually it's the Friday before it releases on Arena. So we won't have it by the 2nd, we should have it by the 9th. Next Friday, yeah. Not this Friday. Sand's fine. It's got land, it's got a Thoughtseize, it's got some ramp. Thanks, Breast Pick. That's adorable. They played untapped land here. Do they have some kind of instant speed cantrip? They're getting priority. Yeah, looks like it. I'm checking out some of their options here. Standard spoilers finish this Friday. Really? So, I don't have time to read that page at the moment while we're in the middle of a game, but does that page actually say we'll have every card to full spoiler on Friday? Or does it say it simply stop listing places to find spoilers on Friday? Those two things are different. Does it say we'll get the full set spoiler this Friday? Verbatim, it says that point blank. Because you're right, it lists the standard legal spoilers as being done as of this Friday the 2nd, but does it explicitly say on there that, hey, we're gonna have all the cards? It does not. Okay, yeah, so there's a chance it is commander spoilers for that. There's a chance that we don't get the full set spoiler till later then, we'll see. This is different than how Arena has, how Wizards has done things before. Okay, so I have 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 mana. I think we just archive, draw 2, and see where we go from there. We could still die next turn, right? They could just combo us.
All creation can be undone.
Oh, you know what? I could have tutored up Cage, right? Obviously, it kind of worked out because they didn't kill us and we drew Ugin. But I probably should have just tutored Cage there.
Do not ignore my draconic talents.
So they can technically dual-caster Mage our Duress here. Which is why I haven't plussed the Ugin yet, because if they want to be cheeky and do that, I want to shoot the dual-caster Mage with my Ugin. I agree, Puppy. If we get, for the record, if they do plan to give us a full standard spoiler by this Friday, I think that's a good thing and a positive change. I just wanted to comment that it's atypical from what they usually do. In general, I think Wizards drags their spoiler season out too long. And I would prefer that they do it shorter and more condensed with more meaningful cards each day. Hey, what's going on, Bob? We'll do at least one more match after this one, Bob. Yeah, we've been going for like an hour and some change. So we're in game 3. You know what? I should probably mulligan this looking for Cage or Thoughtseize. Just Heartless Act probably isn't good enough. Oh, I guess I technically don't have black mana either, right? I need an artifact into play. Nailed it. Never didn't have it. Oh, I guess we can theoretically get turn 3 here, right? So there's only 80-ish links for new spoilers this week, unless the preview is multiple cards or a substantial amount of cards on Friday. We're likely going into next week. Yeah, that was my thought. We learned anything interesting with this so far today? I added 2 Coldsteel Hearts, Bob, to get us up to 10 pieces of 2-mana ramp, and that's felt pretty reasonable. I think I've been happy with that change. I trimmed the third Mind Stone and the 4th Hedron Archive for 2 Coldsteel Hearts. It ups our black count too. Plays a little abrasive. Did you try the black, draw 2, lose 2? Oh, those cards aren't legal yet, Bob. I don't think we can cast black in this deck either, but those aren't legal until the 15th. All right, and then our Heartless Act actually doesn't stop us from dying here because they have 2 drops. So normally you could Heartless Act this in response to its trigger. And I also, oh, I know, they killed my artifacts on Heartless Act up anyways. Good call. Even if we did have Heartless Act up here, it doesn't stop us from dying. Yeah, I probably should have mulliganed that hand. Although the fact that they had a braid meant that Grafdigger's Cage wasn't going to be enough anyways. Let's load up one more with this one, and then we're gonna shift gears over to Nier Automata for the second half of the stream. Again, for my regulars, my plan is to do 2 Magic decks every morning for about 3.5, 4 hours each morning for the next couple of weeks, and we'll go back to the 5, 6 hours of Magic stuff I'd been doing when the new set drops. I'm gonna take it easy for the next little bit while we're waiting for cards to happen. This hand's lovely. Just needs a Bomb Diggity at the top end. You definitely keep hands like this in this deck. Yeah, Automata's been good. Basically, if I play a game for like more than 2 sessions, I probably am enjoying it. I think within like 4 hours or so. Usually in 1 session, I know if something if fits my play style. It's been reasonable. I think my one complaint about it or critique would be that it's not fully voice acted, but it's mostly voice acted, so it's not a complete deal breaker for me. Per 35 minutes in the case of Bloodborne, accurate. Looking at you, Bloodborne, looking at you. Are they black-white auras without Duress and like an awkward draw? Not quite sure what the opponent's doing. Oh, they're a shadow deck. Yeah, that's totally what they are, huh? 100% a shadow deck. That's a good observation. They're a shadow deck and they drew their 1 savior. Yep. I'm drawing with the Mind Stone rather than putting another 2 counters on my Baron here. I don't want to draw with Hedron Archive because I want to be able to cast an Ugin next turn if I draw one. Unfortunately missed. They have a Danto Vanguard to hammer their own life total anyways, so I might as well attack here. Oh, the Barrens was summoning sick. Yeah, that's a good call. Couldn't put counters on it anyways. Catch. Yikes. Need Daddy Ugin right now. Alright, that'll do too. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I'm cycling. I think I'm drawing with Hedron Archive next this turn because I can still cast Ugin next turn if I do that. Crusher, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Yeah, again, the black splash is super worthwhile in this deck. You definitely want the black splash. Using Cataracts to save the 1 point of life means that I can't cycle or draw 2 at the Hedron Archive. And then we're unfortunately dead here, huh? We drew a bunch of bricks. Need to just like any of our pieces of interaction. Oh, this is 4 to activate. You're super right. I thought it was 3. I guess I'm also dead to a removal spell playing out these other Guardian Idols. I've left myself dead to Fatal Push. It's Cleave still. Yeah, Maul, this guy Cleaves feels like a fair cleave for sure. Yeah, they have a lot of things that kill us here. And we know they're missing land drops, so like their hand is 3 spells. Yeah, definitely worth taking a second for them to click through it. Pushed off a cliff here. Opponent getting rewarded for playing bad removal spells in their deck. In a world where there's justice, we draw an Ugin and then they die to Ugin with a Fatal Push in their hand, but, you know, there's no justice in this world, shit. I think I'm actually trimming Forsaken Monument here. The opponent kills us in giant chunks, not chip shots, so the 2 life's not super relevant. We have plenty of other ramp to get to these, I think. That was something I've talked about too a little bit. You know, I've heard a lot of people that don't really play Historic complaining that Fatal Push is legal, but Lightning Bolt and Swords to Plowshares won't be from this upcoming card pool. And like, Fatal Push honestly isn't even very good in this format, whereas like those other 2 definitely would be. Like, if you had me make a list of the top 3 black removal spells in Historic, I don't think Fatal Push would make the cut. I think Blood Chief's Thirst and Heartless Act are definitely number 1 and number 2 for black spot removal. And maybe Fatal Push is number 3. But honestly, things like Eliminate could be in contention for that. Murderous Rider. Yeah, it's fine. It's playable. Noxious Grasp. Groki's earlier on stream, so he thinks Historic would be better with Bolt. Magic Zoomer, who's never cast a Lightning Bolt in their life, wants it in the format. Got it. These Zoomers, chat, they know not what they ask. To be fair, in defense of him, there's a lot of Magic Boomers that have cast Lightning Bolt a lot that also want it in the format. It was not the land I wanted for Christmas, but all things considered, it's a reasonable draw here. Yeah, I've got 2 decades of Magic under my belt, chat. Okay. All right, there's a land. So I get to go. Do I want to start scrying this turn, or do I want an extra mana for next turn? I think I probably want to start scrying this turn, huh? Yeah, so I don't think it'll likely be this year, but at some point next year, I think we'll definitely have at least one Hoaglandia open that's historic vintage. That's just all cards that exist on historic with no ban list. So you can play like Oko, Uro, Swords to Plowshares, Demonic Tutor. I don't know that sounds like a format that's like great to play all the time, but for like a one-off tournament, no ban list arena format sounds like gasoline. Yeah, once upon a time, just like all the stupid cards that exist. I think I'm taking this at this point. Yeah, channel would be legal. So again, I think there's a strong chance that format's not worth playing all the time. But as a one-off, it sounds like a total hoot and a holler. Does anything beat channel? maybe we would need a restricted list. Channel Ugin, channel Ulamog is probably the best thing you could do in that format. The problem with the restricted list is it's hard to monitor deck lists that are illegal at that point. No, chat, I don't have a second black source, chat. Oh, Dark Ritual would be legal too. I'm gonna keep this. I can draw with Mind Stone, and I can draw with Mazemind Tome. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! It's a shame we can't rabbit one more and find. It's a shame we can't rabbit one more and find out, chat. I'm gonna do one more. I want to try and hit a decent match where we don't miss on our second black and die. Hey babe, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. The format should be called Coliseum since it's the original arena. That's funny. I don't believe so, Windmagus. Man, if we could win a die roll, turn 4 Ugin is on the drawn historic a lot of the time. Thoughtseize, that's true. An actual factual counterspell would exist too, right? Because that's going to be an archive that's banned in Historic. Yeah, Manatize, Spell Pierce, yeah, channel's probably fine. Yeah, well, we're totally gonna have to. That's probably something to do like over the holidays later this year. It's probably a reasonable time to do that. Are the non-historic legal archives going to be collectible? Yeah, because you can draft them. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Well, lightning bolts coming to Arena Igdom. Lightning bolts in the Mystical Archive. So lightning bolt will be on Arena. It just won't be historic legal. So I would assume that the banned mystical archives will act like other banned cards on Arena, in that you will explicitly not open a banned mystical archive as long as you don't have all of the non-banned archives. Is usually how that works. That being said, that only applies to the booster packs you open directly. It won't apply to limited and drafting. So the reason why all of them are going to be legal on Arena is so limited on Arena can be the same as limited in paper. Hey, thanks for the Primate Dome. Pretty good chance this eats another counterspell. Tail's End. My tail has ended, chat. Alright, should I just try and kill them with Crawling Barrens here? Do I just, like, ignore their counterspells and kill them with Crawling Barrens? I could cycle these, but just, like, killing them with my creature land sounds better. It's actually a 2-turn clock if they don't have anything, right? I attack for 6, then I attack for 12 next turn. You'll note I waited until the last activation to make this a creature, because I didn't want it to die to an Abrade or like a deal 2 or a deal 3. Alright, red-based removal deck it looks like. Alright, that buys them a turn. They could be a combo deck of some sort here. We're not exactly sure what our opponent's win conditions are. I guess they played Gargoth. Gargoth would imply something fair, perhaps. Exiled one of those. Well, I mean, that's probably the best draw in our deck, right? How much mana do I have left over after I cast this? I have only 3. So good chance this gets counterspelled, but at least it takes the Shark Typhoon off the table with it. They could Tails in the trigger, I suppose. If they're a fair deck, we're through some amount of their win cons here, which is good for us too. No, it's a win con. It's weird. Chat, there is nothing wrong with just registering a bunch of cards you like casting in Historic. In fact, doing exactly that is the appeal that formats like this have to a lot of people. Got me. They have a gain 3 sitting in play. I think we do blast on the goose though. They can also gain another 3 by doing this. It is a thick monster, chat. It's a heck of a slap land. Should have got in for another 2 with the idol, maybe? That's actually pretty scary. It's a chump blocker, which gives them time to hit us with these 2. Alright, so it was obviously okay there, but coming out in this matchup for sure. I'll take the Ugin. This is definitely an Ulamog matchup. Probably some number of big Papa Ugin out here. I've been trimming 2 Coldsteel, 2 of these. That's probably fine. I think I like that for this being our control plan. Yes. This hand doesn't have a black source in it, but the spells are real good. I'm keeping this into this every time. It's not like Thoughtseize is gonna draw dead as this game goes along against their counterspell deck, so I think we definitely keep this. Tome, thanks for the follow. Good morning. Good chance this Hedron Archive gets countered, but definitely just on the jamming things plan. Maybe I'll tap out for something like a Wall Arc with this. It's gonna be a card draw spell too. He said optimistically. Nice, nice. I guess we could be getting a braided here. The braid's still like a 1-for-1 and we got to ramp this turn. Yeah, so like they have braided us, but I still put ramp into play this turn. Deal. Thoughtseize less good against Foretold counterspells, obviously.
Today's my lucky day.
I think we start here because this fishing up Cascading Cataracts lets me cast Thoughtseizes next turn. This also potentially encourages them to downchick Chandra to deal 4 to this if they don't have an Abreed here. Uncle Jeff, thank you for the 19 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Are they taking an extra turn? They're hard casting Shark Typhoon. Sure. Hello, oldest son. How's your day going? Good, good, good. Good, good, good. Okay.
But now we just don't have time for my different voices.
We got time for your different voices.
A little bit.
Your voices are great, kid.
Now you've done it.
You love me too much?
I love you too much. I love you too much. Episode magic voice.
You're going down.
Ah, yes, the classic plus Chandra reveal cancel. Do I need a mana for this? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can play Yoshi's Crafted World, bud. Yeah, so you need to scry for an untapped land here. I don't have the Switch games in here, bud. The box is under the TV out there, yep. Nailed it. They're gonna try and find a Tail's End here to stifle my trigger. I feel like they should have done that proactively in case they found like an Abreed. Well, you know, I mean, that's three less blanks that I can draw out of my deck now, I suppose. This is where the magic happens, chat.
This'll be easy.
I don't remember which switcher purple. I think it's the blue one. Right, try the blue one. Am I scrying or are we drawing a card? I think we're scrying. Because I can cast Ugin if I draw it. Every time Jeff Bricks on a 3-land Golos or collecting company an 80-card Yorion deck draws exactly what it needs. Man, opponent's top of their deck. Just like super fire here, huh? Yikes. Pretty happy with how he boarded there, I think. Just beyond the play for this next one, ideally. That helps us get under them a little bit. Seems fine. Can't Thoughtseize on 1, but it plays it on 3. What happened with Golos? We hit 3 lands. Yeah, we activated Golos and hit triple land, and my opponent cast a Shark Typhoon and then drew all spells. For a peak Magic the Gathering experience. Hey, Rain, thanks for the 29 months. Welcome back. It's gonna take their Shark Typhoon because it's their threat. Especially with Ulamog in hand, I'm pretty happy just passing back and forth here. This card's almost assuredly a Saw It coming as well. Otherwise, they would have drawn 2 Scry 2 at the end of the turn. I guess it could technically be an extra turn spell, but we haven't seen that one out of them yet. 8 mana altogether here. I guess we could see them Broken Bond our Mind Stone, but we get to cycle that in that case, so it's like really not a big deal either. City's Blessing is 10, right? Yeah, always off of that too. I feel like the waiting game favors the big mana deck, but let's see. Especially with them missing some land drops here. Shark Typhoon's very good. Shark Typhoon means the waiting game's a little bit less good for us now. I don't just want to jam this Ugin, because if I jam the Ugin, this is likely a counterspell for it, and then they get to Broken Bond my Mind Stone, and then I can't Ulamog them next turn. Wow, we're getting tails ended, chat. This is where our story stops. They did tails end us game 1. They tails ended Papa Ugin. Yeah, it's a 2-for-1, but like, we were kind of hoping to be a 3-for-1 by taking some lands away. Strategy here, Cotton. Let's see how it pays off for him. Honestly, I'm just gonna leave their Wall of Blossoms in play and keep the loyalty on this higher, I think. Yeah, Tails End and disallows a lot of Stifle out of the opponent. For sure. I'm pretty sure I just activate this every turn. I think I'm gonna start cranking this up. I guess I could technically disallow my ult, so that's like not a viable path at the moment.
My flames burn beyond perception. I will destroy if I must.
Will destroy. Destroy. You know? What happened? What happened here? I'm off the screen, chat. OBS is bugging out. All right, let's fix that. There we go. Something resolved. I guess I'll die. I get pretty happy with where we ended. I think the addition of Coldsteel Heart feels good. While obviously it doesn't have direct synergy with the Forsaken Monument, I do think in the dark, and especially against anything aggressive, you basically have to have a ramp spell on 2 with this deck to be competitive, and having 10 of those to mulligan to as opposed to just 8 feels like a really good place to be. The fact that they give us a touch more black mana to cast Shadows, Verdict, and Extinction Event more consistently in the small creature decks also feels very good. So I don't know that this deck really wants anything from the upcoming Mystical Archive. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm pretty sure this deck prefers Duress to Inquisition as its second discard spell, because the matches where we want discard spells are things like Ultimatum and Teferi Hero of Dominaria decks, which means this effect is much better than something that only takes things that cost 3 or less but can take creatures. I'm trying to think. And it definitely isn't a Sign-in Blood deck. We can't really make black consistently early. The mana base would have to look a lot different, and at that point, Forsaken Monument would be a lot less good. So I think I'm on no changes, even with Archives. This deck would love Dark Ritual. That is one of the 7 that are not going to be legal, though. All right, so at any rate, that's going to wrap up on Magic for me for the day. I'll be back again tomorrow morning. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by for the first time. Be sure to check out my YouTube channel as well. Everything I stream gets posted there, so usually there's 2 to 4 different constructed decks that get posted there every single day of the week. We're mostly playing Historic at this point, although we might do a little bit of Standard later this week. I think I'm playing a Standard 5K on MTG Melee on Saturday, so... all right, I'm going to shift gears, and we started a play